Wow, that's actually embarrassing. I actually thought, oh, well, if you're joining for the first time, then um, apparently I didn't even press the live button. I've been thinking I was live for a good 3 minutes. That's embarrassing. I didn't think that would happen to me. Wow. Okay, well, I guess I got to do the intro and everything else again. Oh my God, that is embarrassing. I mean, you didn't see me just look ridiculous talking to nobody just now. That's really funny. But all right, let's do everything again. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to another Chainsaw Man recap and discussion. I'm MTS, aka Mel the Scientist, and um, if you are here in the chat, definitely let me know that you're here, and let me know how you're doing, how your week was, how excited you are for this episode. This was like I said, this is my favorite episode, and I can't wait to talk about it. I have like a good 60 slides, which is a lot more than normal because honestly, so much happened that I had to have like just about a picture for like almost every frame of this episode just so I can remember what was in it. But yeah, why don't I just go ahead and do the intro first and we can get into it. All right, let's get into it. Honestly, I can't really see. Is that white? I don't know. Okay, we'll keep it off. All right. Yep. Okay. Like I said, super excited for this episode. This was my favorite one to date. I was so hyped for this. So what I was saying before I found out that I wasn't on live was that I usually get my photos for my my slideshow. I usually take them when I watch it a second time, and I would usually do that on like the Wednesday or Thursday after it comes out, because I watch it on Hulu and it comes out, each episode comes out every Tuesday, and I watch that Tuesday and then I'll watch it again and then take my photos for the screen for the slideshow. But this episode was so fun that I literally rewatched it like right after I finished the episode, so that I already had the pictures and everything. I love this episode. I'm so hyped for the next one. I do hate that it ended on such a good cliffhanger, but oh well. Also, my friend did try to make today, but she wasn't able to. She also watches it. She's my friend from college. And she said she'll be able to make the next one. She promises. So hopefully. So it's just going to be me today. So hopefully that'll be enough. But if you are here, please let me know that you are. Like, say hi in the chat. Please let me know that you're here, that you're excited to talk about the episode. And once again, please do talk about the episode. Let me know what your favorite moments were. Like anything that you thought about this episode, because I want to be able to talk with you. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to a brick wall sometimes, even though, you know, people watch the replay. But if you're here live, like, let me know. I'm glad to have you. But without further ado, let's get into, oh, you know what? First of all, why don't we get some commercials out the way? Commercials being one commercial. But this is my one and only merch item so far, my MTS Mel the Scientist bracelet, handmade by me. It'll tell you all the details in the commercial. Let's go. Introducing my first ever merch item, the official MTS bracelet. It's designed and handmade by yours truly and is composed of MTS letter charms, black lava stones, and sodalite. Sodalite is a semi-precious stone that promotes alignment of the head and the heart, allowing you to think logically and solve problems with more ease. I also apply a jewelry shield that protects those with sensitive skin from metallic irritation, so you can wear your MTS bracelet with pride. There are two variations, one with rhinestone accents and one incorporating hematite, which is an iron oxide material with its own healing properties. You'll also receive a personally handwritten note by me thanking you for supporting my business. You can find the MTS bracelet on my small jewelry business site, mellow.storybox.com. Thank you so much. So proud of that commercial. I'm definitely going to use it every single episode. And now, without further ado, let us get into the Chainsaw Man episode 6, Kill Denji episode with a really weird devil this episode. We'll get to it. I have thoughts on that. But we left off. So last episode, they were going up into this hotel to do some devil hunting. And while they were while they were progressing up to the floor levels, they found that they are stuck on floor 8. And so, like, remember last episode when dude was going down the steps and then somehow ended up right back at the top of the steps on the same floor. So yeah, and we find out how they were actually trapped there, and it makes perfect sense. But after they see that, Himeno tells Kobani to make the peace sign and stay right there so that she can double check and know that no one's actually moved. And that was she goes back. She goes down. Did she go down or up? She went down the stairs and then came back up. And Kobani started freaking out. By the way, Kobani is just really useless right now. Like, I was not feeling her this episode. Here, oh, got a comment here. Did not watch the episode yet. Oh, well, it's a really good episode. I would definitely get into it because it's fun. But thanks for being here anyway. Appreciate it. I think the amount of slides I have, you might as well have just seen the episode because I put so many in here just to help remember what was even going on, even though I saw it twice. But thanks for being here. So yeah, this little girl she was, first of all, I never heard her speak any of these past episodes, but she sure did have a lot to do and say this episode, all for the wrong reasons. So I'm gonna have to. I was gonna say we'd have to figure out what her deal was, but we learned exactly what the reason why she's here. That being said, she could still, grow a pair a little bit. But moving on. So Hayakama decides to triple check, really, and he goes in the room, the hotel room, and he tells Kobani to stay right there again. And he goes in and he sees that there aren't any windows that lead to outside. Like, when he walks in, there's literally a window that shows another room. Or I'm pretty sure it's just the same room, but on the other side of itself. I think I didn't, you know what? Maybe in my other slide, I'll see if that was the case. But he walks in and sees that there's literally a whole other room on the other side of the window and a door. So there's no access to outside at all. And then he goes out of the other door, like he walks through that door and comes out and ends up right behind her. So they are like actually officially stuck in a loop. And then Denji said that none of the windows go anywhere because they're just stuck. They're just going to be a room after room. So that is the same room. Okay, so if there's that window, I mean, that picture had leaves or green stuff. Is that the same? Are those the same photos? I don't know. It may be. I didn't think about that. But yeah, so they're just hanging out in the room because there's really nothing else for them to do, trying to formulate a plan. And oh, you know what? No, the pictures are different. Okay. Well, that's kind of weird. They should be the same if this is a room that's repeating itself. Because that picture on the right it looks like aloe vera. And I don't know what that picture is, a tulip or something. And yeah, I guess they are different rooms, but like the whole idea is it's just another room on the other side of the window and it should be outside. So they're stuck. And they also try and check, they go through the ceiling and check. So Denji, like, that's Denji's arm right there, and he's poking his head up and he's seeing his own feet. So that's got to be a little mind bending. But yeah, they are like actually stuck on this level. I say level like it's a game, but this floor. Yeah, and they cannot escape at all. And then what's worse, the gun devil remnant isn't moving. It isn't active, so it has no relation to the gun devil. So that sucks. Yeah, and so she starts freaking out, saying that, they're all gonna die, whatever. And then we finally find out why she's here. And it's because apparently she has a brother that she's helping send to college, but apparently both of them can't be in college at the same time. And her parents were like, you can either be a devil hunter or a sex worker. And I'm just like, there are definitely other options besides that you could do. Why she had to choose this, I don't know. I'm not saying she had to be a sex worker, but at the same time, if you had to pick this one, if this is the one that you did pick, girl, you gotta toughen up. Because this whole episode, I was just not feeling you at all, not at all. Yeah, I don't know what the culture is in Japan, but I'm quite sure there were other things that she could have done besides both of these extremes. So I mean, we'll probably learn even more about her later on. I don't know. At this point, I don't even care because she's not really contributing except in a negative way, as we'll see when we go further in this episode. But while she's in her feelings, of course, Power thinks it's funny because she's a fiend and she doesn't care about human toils. She's just laughing right in front of her face too. It's not funny at all. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. And Hayakama finds out that the clock has not moved at all, and I think he said it was stuck at 8:18. So that had to have been when the devil, I won't say the name of it until we reveal it later, but when that devil arrives, 8:18 at night or the morning, because they came in when they first entered the hotel. It looked like afternoon, so maybe it was 8:18 in the morning. I didn't even think about that until now. Like, was this 8:18 that morning, or was it 8:18 like last night? I don't know. We'll see, because they did get the call, but we don't know if that call was, we don't know if they got it after in the morning, or if they got it like after it last night. Whatever. Moving on. So of course Denji is going to sleep, because it's just not his problem right now. And he was like, actually, I need to thank this devil for allowing me to have a nap. And Hayakama, actually everyone's face was like, are you serious right now? But what's her name? Himeno. She was nice enough to wake him back up and tell them what they were able to figure out. And Hayakama is just walking through the floor. It looks like he's got to be walking on the same floor. I don't know what this view is supposed to be from. But I guess he's just still walking around floor 8. But yeah, he refuses to stay in the room and walk around, which I would probably do too before I go crazy. And this, what's his name? Ari? What's his name? I forget his name. But he's prone to panic attacks, so he locked himself in the other side of the room. so that he could just have his panic attack in peace. Which I thought was funny. I was just like, you know what? If you know this about yourself, then go right ahead and just do that. And of course, she just was useless. And like drinking toilet bowl water, like, what is her problem? I don't understand. Like, I know you're scared, but you're doing a lot of weird stuff right now. So I don't know what her problem is. I'm gonna need her to do something beneficial to the group one of these episodes. So yeah, Jimeno had to knock her out for trying to drink toilet bowl water. Like, whatever. And yeah, and Powers talking about she want to win a Nobel Prize, and she also wants to pass a 100% sales tax. I'm like, girl, this is stupid. But yeah, they also do a flashback to Hayakama, or affectionately known as Aki. Honestly, I might just call him that. Aki and Himeno, when they were, I guess, early in their partnership, because last episode we saw how, he was brought to be her sixth partner. So, she's had a lot of partners and they've all died. And so, yeah. And pretty much just gets into the story of how he starts smoking, because apparently he doesn't smoke at first. But she's able to get him to join the bandwagon. But also another important piece of information is that public safety are the only people that are allowed to have pieces of the gun devil's flesh. So that was an important fact to know. Which I wonder why doesn't the government have? Well, I guess the government doesn't want anything to do with devil hunting. I guess public safety is the one that's in control of that anyway. So I guess that makes sense. And she's pretty much telling him about what you're going to have to go through being or having dead partners, like how it affects the family members. But at the same time, like that lady had no right to slap her because it wasn't her fault. Acting like she like she murdered her partner or got him murdered. And she's equally as traumatized by losing her partner. So I don't know what slapping her across the face does for you. Like, how would that make you feel better? And you just made someone else's experience worse. So I didn't understand that at all. But Aki got, his form of justice by putting gum on her outfit or whatever. And yeah, I just thought that was weird. And she was like, you're going to have to deal with the family members and friends of your former partners and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I get that, but you don't put your hands on people. That didn't make any sense. And we would have fought, is all I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to sit there and take that. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Aki he initially was not a smoker. But then Jimeno was saying, well, I mean, you're doing a dangerous job anyway, so, and you might not live that long, so you might as well just go on ahead and do it. So he's just like, yeah, whatever. But then when he took it, he was like, if this is a PSA, if I've ever seen one, he was like, this is the first and last one I'll ever light up. Said no one ever. And the first thing that we see after that scene is he's walking back in the room asking if he can have a cigarette. And she's like, well, this is my last one. And he's like, I don't care, give it to me. I'm just like, okay, well, that's bad. That's rough. It's time for you to start getting off. If you're going to need to share a cigarette, that's bad. But she gives him the cigarette that was in her mouth that she was smoking at the time. Oh, by the way, this is back to real time. And she gives him a cigarette that was in her mouth. And Denji's like, that's an indirect kiss. That's not fair. Because I was wondering, because as soon as she did this, I was like, I wonder if Denji's gonna say anything, because like he put his mouth on something that her mouth has been on, and I'm sure someone's gonna take that as like some sort of interaction. So he did. So I thought it was funny. Um, Now, whether it's an indirect kiss or not, it's I don't think there's any such thing as an indirect kiss. But I mean, he did put his mouth on something that her mouth was just on. Technicalities we can talk about. um, but yeah, that was funny. I was wondering if someone was gonna think about that, and he did. Of course, he did. So yeah, now we get into the mess that is this devil right here. So this devil was the same devil from the last episode when it came out and it was just the head and the feet that was coming out from the head like this. And apparently when you heard it, it only gets bigger, unfortunately. And it just came out looking ugly like that. Just disgusting. And that's a photo that kind of shows more of what it looks like. Just disgusting. And I still have, when we get to the one slide that talks about what it is, I'm gonna say what I like, my thoughts on this particular devil. And so the devil is saying to feed me Denji. First of all, how do you even know about Denji? Like, it just came out of nowhere. He's just like, this devil literally just came out of nowhere and was like, feed me Denji. Like, why specifically? I don't know if we're going to find out why, but if we don't, like, I would really like to know how this devil just knew. Or maybe because it can sense the devil in him, but then why does it know his name? Because then it should also be looking for power, because power is the blood devil. So why didn't it want her either? That's why it was really confusing. Yeah, that's because that was going through my mind the whole time. Why it wanted him? Because it just was super random, and I didn't even think about why it didn't want power until now. But yeah, I'm still like really confused on why I would want him and how it even knows his name entirely. I don't really know. But yeah, this girl starts trip. I'm trying not to curse, but she starts tripping. I'm talking about some let it eat you with that big A knife. And I'm like, girl, what are you gonna do with that? You ain't had the balls to do anything in this episode, but you gonna try and attack this dude who's on your team, trying to fight these devils. Like, girl, your priorities are all messed up, all messed up. So yeah, so she comes at him, and Aki stops her knife, and Himeno has to gut her in the stomach or the chest or whatever. So she's out slightly cold for a little bit. Just she got on my nerves the entire time. She got on my nerves the last episode, but she really got on my nerves this episode. And so Himeno asked Aki if he can use the fox devil, and I was like, oh snap, that's right, he can use the fox devil, but apparently he can't, because the fox devil's body is in another part of town, so he can't use it. So that also begs the question, like, when he used the fox devil for the first time, when Denji was fighting the leech devil, like, were they in Kyoto? Because Himeno said that the fox devil's body is in Kyoto, so he can't use it in this hotel. So I'm like, well, then can it only be used in that location? I mean, there's probably other factors, like the fact that the devil is controlling this whole environment and you probably wouldn't be able to use it. Also, the devil's head is like massive and it wouldn't have been able to fit in this corridor anyway. But yeah, that was something interesting that I thought I should talk about. but she also tries her ghost devil, and it doesn't. Oh yeah, it did do. When she used the ghost devil, she did hurt the devil that they're facing right now. But unfortunately, that only made it get bigger. And it also said that you won't find its heart there because apparently it's put itself all throughout this hotel. Um, I don't know how I would have done that. So not only does it control that floor, but it controls the entire hotel because they show a clip of it's like this flash of like veins and capillaries and stuff like that. And it says it has no weaknesses on the 8th floor, which means that its body is dispersed throughout the hotel. So it put its heart somewhere else, probably in the basement. If the hotel has a basement, it probably put it there. Um, and so I'm assuming its body, its essence, is just all throughout this hotel. Um, yeah. And who was it? So someone was denying. Oh, I think it was Denji. Denji was saying that um the this devil isn't going to hold true to its word that once it kills it's Denji. I said Denji, then it's going to just kill everybody else. And Jimena's like, no, like when a devil makes a contract, it has to follow its own rules. So that was important because we didn't know that you can't go back on a contract no matter who's involved. So if someone were to not hold up their end of that contract, then that party would die. And so this one comes out, he's still wrapped up in his cloth like he's been in an accident or a victim of an accident or something. And he's like, well, we could always just kill him and then come up with another plan. And I'm just like, y'all are really just about to give this boy up. Y'all aren't even trying to think of any other options. That's not cool. Like, if we got through this, if we all collectively got through this at the end, I'm not working with y'all. If I had a choice, that is, because Denji doesn't have a choice. But if I did, oh no, we got to separate. We got to be like a subdivision or something. I'm not working with people who are going to give me up so easily without even one knowing why it wants to give me up, because we don't know why it wants Denji or what specifically. Because like I said, how does he even know his name and other stuff? But they're just like, yeah, let's just do what it says right now because we're scared. This is and like Denji might be scared, even though he has his chainsaw ability. He could also be scared. You never know. Especially when something has singled you out like that, something as ugly as that anyway. And so yeah, just useless, those other two. And Aki says what was on my mind when I first watched it. The fact that he wants to eat Denji, that means he would benefit from eating him. Like it would only make him stronger or something. We don't really know what it's going to do. But the fact that he wants to eat Denji that's going to be something that benefits him. And we don't need a devil getting more powerful when our purpose here is to kill it. So thanks, Aki, for bringing that up. But yeah, it just starts taking up the hall, the floor, and just looking disgusting. So then Aki mentions that he could use the sword that he's been carrying this whole time, because he really doesn't want to kill Denji. So he says, we could use the sword. And Himeno is like, oh no, Denji was like, oh yeah, you can go ahead and do that. That would be cool. So Himeno tells Denji, she was like, no, he's not going to use it, even if we run out of options. Like, so then what's the point of even making him or letting him bring it? Because he brings it all the time. But if she's not going to let him use it, then what's the point of him even bringing it along? because she said even if they were out of options, she was not going to let him use a sword. And then she said, well, at that point, when we have run out of options, you're just gonna have to die, bro. Sorry. And he was like, what? Because the whole time everyone is, or like those other two useless ones were like, let's just get rid of him, let's just kill him. And he was like, really, guys, really? But when Jimeno said, even when we're running out of options, yeah, you're actually gonna have to die, he was like, oh snap. Like, he actually was like, okay, I actually might die. Meanwhile, Power is just being Power, just being rude, eating all the food in the bag for no reason at all. Like, she probably wasn't even hungry, because she thirsts for blood. So I don't even know why she would want to eat all the food like that, except just the troll. So that was mean on her part. Then she comes in, as annoying as ever. And she has this stupid logic that they can't get out of here because of Power. And I'm just like, she hasn't even done anything in this episode to offend this devil or whatever. I don't know, just it came out of nowhere. Like, it was stupid. Yeah, she goes so she goes frantic, just like has this stupid, like, what's, I don't know. I know there's different kinds of knives and swords based off like how long they are. I don't know what that kind of knife / sword is, because it's not a knife, it's also not really a sword. I don't really know what it's called. But she just goes frantic, starts screaming, and once the devil hears the screaming, it just starts going buck and just starts running towards them and getting bigger because it reacts to that fear. So it feeds off of it. So once again, she's done something that has made it worse. So she's leaving a very good impression. I don't even know why they have her around. Or they could have just moved her. They could have just put her in a different division, because this is Division 4, but she didn't have to be in this one. But whatever. That can be a different conversation for another day. But she causes the devil to act up and start chasing them. And then we find out that it is the Eternity Devil. And of course, that makes perfect sense, because he had the ability to trap them on the same floor. And also, when Aki went into the room and had the different rooms or whatever, it all makes sense with the infinity theme. But what doesn't make sense to me is this is the first devil that we've seen so far that isn't in like an actual object, like an actual person, place, or thing influenced by. Like, we've seen the sea cucumber devil, we've seen a leech devil, we've seen a bat devil. Have we seen anything else? I mean, the zombie devil, I mean, zombies don't exist, but a zombie still would be a being, an undead being, just something, some sort of living, breathing type thing. But the Eternity Devil, Eternity is not a person, place, or thing. So I wonder how does an eternity devil even work? Like, like, because by that logic, we've only seen these types of, like, we've only seen devils that are influenced by actual living things or objects that exist on Earth. I mean, even like being a blood devil, like blood is related to the living things on Earth, so that's fine. But eternity, that is a mind-bending concept. How does that even get turned into a devil? I don't know. Like, how does the birth of that devil even come to be? Or maybe it was there since eternity. That's the only kind of reason. I don't know. So I thought that was interesting. This is the first time we have a devil that represents a concept instead of an actual, thing that exists, that lives and breathes, or an object that exists. So interesting. Um, Also quite ugly. It doesn't have to look that ugly as an eternity devil. um, but whatever. It also makes sense that you can hurt it and it just keeps getting bigger and more massive. Um, and also by the eternity logic, you shouldn't be able to kill it. But we'll see how they do. I'm sure there's gonna be a way they're somehow able to kill this. But yeah, and it starts to flip the hotel floor at like a 90-degree angle, and now they're all vertical. And now it just became a whole mouth, so now they can't escape. And yeah, and now she's still trying to advocate to kill Denji. I don't know, because that worked well before. Whatever. I'm just kind of over her. She was annoying, but there needs to be some sort of tension or whatever. I mean, she kept it going. And what made Himeno use the ghost power to restrain Aki? I think it was because I think he said he wanted to use the sword this time, and she stopped him from using it because she really does not want him to use it. And that's because we find out that if he does use it, he will lose years off of his life if he does, which means that that's a magic sword. Does it have anything to do with the devil world? I don't know, but apparently it's too costly to use, and she cares too much about his life and his future to let him use that on. So it made sense when she said, "You're just gonna have to die, Denji," because she kind of just met Denji, but she's known Aki for a way longer time, and she believes in his potential and wants him to get revenge on his family. In the name of his family. So it makes sense why she did that. But then she, what's her name? Kobani. I don't know how she jumped across from where she was, because remember, these two were all the way on the other side of the hall. But somehow she was able to jump her behind over to their side and get over there, because she's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and kill Denji. But Aki gets in the way because he doesn't want Denji to die for he doesn't like him, but for the sole reason is he would really like to be able to kill the gun devil. He knows he can't do it by himself, and he needs people that are going to be able to help him. And he knows that Denji wants to kill the gun devil, or Denji has a lot of motivation to kill it, so he knows that it's going to be able to get done. So that's why he doesn't want to kill him, because he needs as much help as possible. And Denji's going to be a big help. I'm sure of course he will, especially given the amount of motivation that he has in order, after he kills it. So it'll get done. But that's why he didn't want him to die. And Denji was actually kind of taken aback by that, or what he said. And he asks Power if she can use some of her, use her blood powers to kind of help Aki with his injury. And so this is the first time that we actually see Himeno actually start, like giving in to the stress of the situation. And she starts kind of like freaking out, saying, well, what are we going to do? So that was rough to see. I'm sure she didn't want to be able to get to that point where she was extremely emotional, but they really were out of options at that point. especially now that she knew that Aki wasn't going to kill Denji, but she forbids him from using the sword. So, they don't really have any options at this point. So Denji just says, you know what, I'll just go. After Kobani is just like, please, all of this could go away if you just get eaten, please. And he's like, oh, you know what, fine, I will go ahead and just do it. And he's like, you know what, after I get through this, I expect to get that kiss. And I'm just like, you know what, you would have earned it too. So I say give him what he wants, because he's definitely risking his life for this. And it's really big of him to do that, because he still really didn't have to do it. But he just decides to just go on ahead and do that, especially because he was moved. He was really moved by what Aki said about, well, not what he said, but I guess what he did. The fact that he allowed himself to get stabbed in order to prevent Kobani from killing Denji. So he was like, I don't know what it wants with me, but it wants his chance. You know what? Denji's the MVP of this episode, because the whole logic for like why, like being able to kill it, Denji said it perfectly. He was like, why do you think it wants y'all to kill me? Because it's scared of me. It doesn't want to be able to face me because it knows that it probably can't stand up to me. So it wants you to do it for it. So I'm sure if I do my chainsaw form, I'm going to give it so much pain that it's just going to want to kill itself. And I was like, thank you, Denji. Thank you. I was like, that was what I thought was the logic the entire time. I was like, obviously, when it said that it wanted you, when it wanted the rest of them to kill him, I was like, well, you could just kill him yourself, but you obviously can't because you're afraid. I mean, you know all about him. You know that he's a chainsaw devil or chainsaw man, and you're scared of him, obviously. So I was like, as soon as he goes in there, he's going to do exactly what he said he was going to do. So yeah, he's going to give it so much pain and suffering that it's just going to want to kill itself. And yeah, I was like, I'm sure that'll be, a walk in the park once that happens. But and he was like, you know what, once we get out of here, we're even. So I'm going to do this just because you risked your life for me. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this. So ends with him falling into the pit, the endless pit, or endless pit of the Eternity Devil's mouth. And I cannot wait for episode 7. Hopefully it's even better than this episode, because this is my favorite so far with everything that was happening and going on. I think this had the most action per minute of like pretty much all of them. So yeah, this was a really, really fun episode. I'm really excited to do it. And like I said, my friend will hopefully be here next week to be able to discuss it. And so my friend, she just finished her clinicals for nursing, and all she has left is the final exam. And then she'll be able to have a whole month off until like spring. So hopefully she can be a recurring guest on the recap and discussion, because I don't just want to be sitting here talking to myself. Or, even though I'm talking to you guys, it's always better when you have someone to chat with, especially if it's your friend. So yeah, this was a fun episode. And speaking of school, let me put this down. Speaking of school, I've actually started my my prep for the MCAT. So got my materials, and I'm going to be studying very hard for it. And just for all you people who didn't think that I was actually a pre-medicine student, I do get comments of wondering if I'm actually a scientist, or trying to make me prove my credentials. But yeah. So I'm actually really excited to get to studying and make sure that I know everything that I need to know for the tests, and then Um, I can start my graduate school adventures. Um, and yeah, I've been dreaming about doing all this my entire life, so this is fun. But yes, that is the conclusion of the episode 6, Chainsaw Man. Uh, and yeah, this is fun. I can't wait till Tuesday. I'm always waiting until Tuesday when it comes out so I can see the episode. This has been okay so far. I mean, I don't know how many episodes they're gonna make this for season 1. It's either gonna be like 13 some episodes or it's gonna be a whole bunch. I know with Bleach, I've been meaning to start Bleach. I'm gonna start Bleach, and I saw how many episodes that there are per season. Like they have like 40 plus episodes a season. So I gotta get started now, especially if I want to get to the 1,000 Year War. But then there's like 20 something, 20 like 26 seasons, and they're all like a good 40 episodes. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to watch all of this? I mean, if I did like an endless marathon, that would take a long time to finish. But I do want to take a look at Bleach because I know Bleach they also have a movie, a live action movie. But I didn't want to see that until I saw the anime. Especially because I saw the Death Note. I saw like a couple episodes of the Death Note anime, and then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And then I saw the anime like years later fully, and I was like, oh, this was a masterpiece. They should never even did that horrific movie, the live action one that is. So I want to see the anime first for Bleach before I see the Netflix, was it movie series? It couldn't just be a movie. If you have like 26 seasons and 40 episodes in them all, like there's no possible way you could have a movie unless you had like 8 more movies. I don't know. But I'm gonna start watching Bleach as well. Like I said, Alice in Borderland is coming December 22nd, and I'm definitely doing a review on that. Trust and believe. Especially if they do an episode a week, then we're definitely doing weekly reviews. If not, then I'll figure out how we can do that where I can still talk about all the episodes, because each one will need its own attention. So yeah, I'm really excited for that to come. That's the show that I'm really waiting for the most out of everything. But Chainsaw Man, just keep getting better with every episode, and that's always a good thing. And yeah, excited to watch it. Hopefully it'll stay good and keep its uniqueness. And yeah, this has been a really fun show so far. And like I said, my friend will be here and we can chat about it. We can have more of a better conversation, and yeah, that'll be fun. But I'm running out of words to say. Thank you so much for being here if you tuned in live, and thank you so much if you are watching the replay. Um, Take care of yourself. Be safe out there in those streets. And thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Mel the Scientist. And thanks for all your support. And I will see you all this time next week, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I'll be here. And that's when my friend will be able to tune in. She's an hour behind me because she's from Baton Rouge. So it'll be 4 Eastern Standard Time, 3 Central, 1 Pacific Time. So yeah, tune in when you can. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.